brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey personality, resident PhD of counseling, is here to help you. If you have crazy people in your family and you have a question, he's here to help. He's my co-host today. #1 best-selling author multiple times over and host of the Dr. John Delony Show on the Ramsey Networks. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Brendan is in Detroit. Hi, Brendan. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I go to Michigan State University, and I had a question about leasing. Last year, about October, my current apartment kind of got us in a chokehold and said that we had to sign a lease for next year within about 6 hours, or else we won't get the apartment and we can't live there. Now their lease is about $250 cheaper, and we can't get any cheaper rate at all because we already signed.
Okay. And how can we help?
So I was wondering on what would be a good plan to go. I don't know if that's like something that you could get a lawyer involved, or if it's something that I should just try to get out of, like get a subleaser, or what I should do, because
why do you want to get out of the lease?
A lot of money. What's that?
Why do you want to get out of the lease?
Because it's about $1,015 a month, and the new lease that they're offering is $799 a month, and that would be like a lot different.
Well, they're not, but they're not. You signed up for $1,000 originally, and you knew that when you signed up. So
yep.
The only thing that's pissing you off is they now rent the same apartment cheaper.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
There's nothing. I don't know why you would get a lawyer. It sounds like you just.
There's no lawyer can help you, dude. They didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I was wondering more on the part of where they told me that I had to sign it within 6 hours, or that I won't be able to live there at all.
Well, that's not illegal.
Maybe back then it was true.
You can put a deadline on a negotiation and say, I'm going to offer you this for 6 hours, and after that, I can't promise you can stay here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if you felt like that was undue pressure or unreasonable, just don't sign it at the time. That would have been a possibility. And if you feel like you're being mistreated, go somewhere else, in other words. But,
I think the only way they rip you off is if they said y'all sign it for $1,000 and they charge you for $1,300.
Yeah, they try to charge you more than you signed up for.
Then they're ripping you off.
Now, what I would do is this: rather than going in with the attitude that they did something wrong, I would just go into the manager's office in person and say, "Hey, man, I'm a broke college student. This is a lot of money to me. Would you guys show us some mercy and reduce our existing lease to what you're currently selling them for?" Man, that would be a huge help, because it's the difference is a big deal. And gosh, when we signed it last year, we had no idea, of course, we could get it for this, or we would have waited. But, man, can you help us out here? But don't go in there acting like they did something wrong, because, Brendan, honestly, I don't think they did anything wrong.
So we actually did do that, because it's me and 3 of my other roommates, and we did go in there and we talked to somebody. They told us in person, they said, yeah, we can actually get it down to that rate. And then they gave us a call back. The general manager gave us a call back about a half hour later and was like, whoa. Actually, we can't do that. You guys already signed this other one for this rate. And it was just like a regular employee we talked to at the beginning. So I don't know if his word has any weight to it.
No, he just misspoke. Misspoke.
No.
Okay.
And so, there's 3 of you splitting this $250 overcharge.
No. It's $1,015 per person.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it was a $750 reduction you were asking for.
Yeah, sounds about right
Yeah.
overall. Total for the whole apartment.
Yeah. There's 3 people, right?
4 people.
4. Oh,
Me and 3 mothers.
so it's
Oh, okay, so
$1,000.
$1,000. Yeah,
$1,000 a
$1,000.
month that you were
Yeah,
asking
so
them to
they're-
cut it. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine
Yeah,
they didn't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just
Well, I think
imagine.
that now they're desperate.
So if the marketplace, let's just pretend that they weren't crooks and they weren't trying to screw you, that they just simply thought, hey, we have a really hot property here, and we're going to get people signed up. And if you want to do it, we're going to put it on the market. If you don't want to sign, you got 6 hours to do that. And then they discover that they can't rent these apartments and they have to drop the prices on them in order to get them rented. Instead of thinking maybe this was the plan all along. That's a possibility, actually.
I've worked in college housing for a long time, and the number of students who would say, yeah, we're signing up, and then you start to see the attrition rates throughout the summer. Like what he's talking about happens all the time in college housing. Like plans change, students don't come back, and suddenly you're faced with a bunch of empty beds that you weren't expecting, and you got to figure it out rate-wise because you can't have an empty bed. I've just experienced this buying a car, and then you look on an ad 3 months later, and the car's cheaper. I can't go back to the dealer and get mad at him. It just is what it is. I think what you had to say, Dave, is the only thing you can control here is your attitude, man. And if you want to walk around looking how everybody's ripping you off, and instead of going, oh, man, those guys who waited are going to get a great deal. Maybe next time I might consider waiting, which, by the way, then it's going to sell out. The concert, you're going to wait for tickets till the last day, and the concert's going to sell out. So it's just kind of the way life works sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, Brendan, an attorney can't help you because nothing was done wrong here. I hate that you guys are paying more than market, but nothing was done wrong. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. That is what we do here, and we help folks get control of everything going on out there. So you can participate with us here. We could use your help, by the way, if you want to join us by clicking subscribe on the show, clicking follow on the show, share if your platform you're on has a share button, or just cut the link out and send it to somebody. Go listen to these folks over at the Ramsey Show. They're helping people, and it's fun and funny, and you wouldn't believe what some of the callers say and all that kind of stuff. Share it. Tell people about it. We appreciate it when you do. It helps everything. And the 5-star reviews, we appreciate them. It makes a big difference. We know that a bunch of you are doing this because our numbers are through the roof. They are exponentially up in the last 2 years, particularly in the podcast and the YouTube world. But our radio ratings are up as well. And radio ratings in general are not up. So that's a good thing. That tells us you guys are telling people. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you listening out there. Again, if you want to participate today, Dr. John Delony is my co-host. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Thanks for joining us, America. We're really glad you're here. If you are on baby step 4 or further, which means you're investing, you're out of debt, you have your emergency fund in place, you've lived like no one else. If you want to go on the Live Like No One Else cruise, we'd love to have you.
Let's do it.
We're going to cruise, baby. We're going March 22nd of next year. And we're going to Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, all the Ramsey personalities, plus Stephen Curtis Chapman, Dina Carter of Strawberry Wine famous country music singer. A bunch of us going to be hanging out with you the entire week. The entire ship is devoted to Ramsey, and it's the Live Like No One Else cruise. Now, this is not the cheapo cruise. This is Holland America. It's nice. I don't go on the cheapo cruises. And so you won't find me there otherwise. So I'm coming. John's going to be there. My wife and all the Ramsey personalities will be with us. Of course, a bunch of Ramsey, and we'll be doing special things on the ship all week long and going to very cool places. It's a way for you to celebrate the milestone of actually starting to win with your wealth building process. So you can put down only a $600 deposit and hold your room. We are approaching a sellout. And so if you're going to go in March of 25, you need to get on the list right now. So go to RamseySolutions.com/cruise for the Live Like No One Else cruise. Darren is with us in Dallas. Hi, Darren. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, John. Thank you guys so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So right now I'm currently in baby step 3. I've just submitted the last payment for my last debt. So as of last week, I'm debt free. I make about $65,000 a year. It's just me, so single. But right now I'm kind of going through a bit of a career change. I'm 25 years old, and so the background information is I work at an airport, and I've been going through talking to pilots and things like that, and speaking with our recruiting. And they have a career path program to where I can become a pilot with the airlines here, and pilots make pretty substantial income, and I'd like that for myself as well as being able to fly a plane. My question for you is how do I balance, saving up for emergency fund and for a future down payment on a house and retirement, as well as funding flight school and all other expenses that come along with it? How do I prioritize that? What's the best way to go about that? Any information at all would be helpful.
Okay. What do you make?
Well, currently I make $65,000 a year.
Okay, and what are you going to? You said that. I'm sorry. And while you're doing all of this, they're not paying for any of it?
They will. So part of the program is that I have to have a degree, and my job is paying for the degree. So I won't have to pay for the degree portion of it, but I will have to pay for the flight school. And that, talking with the flight school, all certifications, all total, should be probably around $50,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're going to get $50,000. Let's just pretend that that's all we did. Where are you going to get the $50,000? Yes, just out of the 65 income?
Well, just seeing like how much I should save up or put that off, or what's the best way to save up. I don't want to take out any loans and get back into debt.
No, I don't want you to either. I'm just saying, if you save $25,000 a year, it takes 2 years to save up the money, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty strenuous on 65. I mean, that's living on nothing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how much debt have you paid off?
I've paid off about $13,000.
How long did that take?
That, honestly, getting super serious about it, took like less than maybe a year and a half, less than that, just about a year and a quarter.
Well, at the $13,000 a year rate, saving up $50,000 takes you 5 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So you got to do better than that, don't you?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's your basic math there. So, and for sure, don't go in debt to go be a pilot, because the pilots you're talking to that are making a lot of money are pilots that have been pilots a long time. The brand new pilots out of flight school make about what you make.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I have those figures of what I've talked to and what they.
Yeah, they make about $65,000 flying for American Eagle.
Yes, sir.
And little commuter planes is what they're doing, and that's who they put in there is the brand new kids. New kids on the block, baby, and that's what you'll be. So it's going to be a while. You're not going to be making $200K coming out of the chute. You know that, right?
Right. Of course. Of course.
All right. So you're going to spend $50,000 to make about what you make now.
Yes, sir.
at your entry level. So that's what you're up against, and that's what you're going to have to think through here. That's why for sure you don't borrow money on this, because it would be super stupid to borrow money and do this in your situation. So yeah, you got to get your emergency fund in place, and then you start working your way through your education ideas.
I'm just still stuck on an industry that is struggling to get new pilots in the pipeline, having a degree requirement, but not helping out with flight school, the actual training that we need to support. Like, it's just everything's so backwards sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to wrap my head around an emerging problem across so many fields, and everybody's going to how we solved problems 25 years ago to try to solve these new problems. And it's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Well, when it gets when their shortage of pilots gets bad enough, they'll change it.
Yeah. I just wish there were problems in the world that we could solve seeing them coming instead of waiting till we're hit and then change them. But alas.
Well, that's called vision. Don't be pushy.
So wild to me.
Damien is with us in Sacramento. Hi, Damien. How are you?
Hello, doing good. So my question is, I got about $30,000 in debt, and my 401k has 46 in there.
No.
And I think
No,
don't touch it.
don't do it. Just don't.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's going to cost too much. It's going to cost me more in taxes. I won't even be able to pay it all off, I thought.
Exactly. You got a 10% penalty plus you got your tax rate. So it's like borrowing money at 30 or 40% interest to pay off your debt. That doesn't make sense at all.
See, that was an easy one.
Yep, it was easy. Yep. And so what you've got to do is get your income up, your outgo down, and that's not easy. And it's working a lot of hours, and that's not easy. And sacrificing, and that's not easy. And then you'll clear the debt, and then you'll look back and go, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Matt's in Grand Rapids. Hey, Matt, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm 61 years old. I'm going to retire in about 4 years. My wife and I have no debt other than our home. We have about $2.2 million in a 401k. We owe $300,000 on our home. Does it make sense? We would like the peace of mind of being totally out of debt.
I'd write a check and pay it off today.
You would?
Yeah. Do you not have any money that's not in the 401k?
Not enough to pay off the mortgage.
Okay. All right. What do you have in non-mortgage or non-retirement investments?
Just have our emergency fund in a savings account.
So you don't have any investments that aren't in your 401k?
No, sir.
Wow. Okay. That's weird for $2 million, but that's cool. I'll take it. Good job, by the way. Excellent job. $2.2 million in your 401k. You rocked it, man. You killed it.
Well, we did.
What's the house worth?
When it's paid off, $650.
Okay. So you're approaching a $3 million net worth at 60-something years old. Way to go. Proud of you. Yes, I would pay off my house today. Pay the taxes on the 401k. There's no penalty because you're over 59 and a half. So it's a different answer than the guy before for that reason. That's the difference. Yeah, and he's got plenty of money to do that as well. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jim and Taylor are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Where do you guys live?
So we live in Glassboro, New Jersey, which is about 30 minutes south of Philadelphia.
Gotcha. Cool. Welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. And here to do a debt-free scream, how much did you pay off?
We paid off $133,536.81.
Love it. How long did that take?
About 14 months.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We started off at about $160,000, and through side hustles and overtime, got it up to about $197,000.
Cool. What kind of debt was the 134?
All student loans.
All student loans.
Worth every penny. If not, I would not have met my beautiful wife.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Cool.
The stories we tell ourselves, right?
It took $134,000 in debt to find her. Way to go, guys. So what changed 14 months ago? What was this makes you do the Ramsey stuff wide open? Because you guys went for it, man.
Yeah, well, it started probably 6 or 7 years prior to that. I started listening to the radio. I came across your show, and all of the values and ideas I had about money, you guys had as well. But I just didn't have the plan to put all those values and ideas into place. And so I started learning more about the baby steps and why I should be saving money, why I should be out of debt, and started making some changes in my life.
Yeah.
Started to pay off my car, intentionally saving for specific reasons, and then Taylor came along and we started dating, and we decided we started talking more about finances. Through the pandemic, we took FPU online. We started to do our own journeys and paid off our own cars, and then not too long after that. Well, first off, I knew she was the one for me from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were in love pretty quickly, but then she kind of said, this ring or this hand, really should have something on it. It's getting a little bare. There should be something sparkly, And so I told her, I said, I'm not going to go into debt to pay for the ring. And
I bet that was a romantic dinner.
And I'm not going to have a car payment, And so she knew I was a little crazy and serious about this from the very beginning. Yeah. And so, we got engaged and we started talking more seriously about finances and got married and then decided, this is what we need to do right from the beginning. And so we used all of the money we had from our wedding and put that and got us jump started. And then we started to work for those 14 months, putting, $5,000-6,000 a month at the debt until it was done.
Yeah.
Wow. Way to go, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Way to go. You've got to feel great.
Yeah, feels real good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do y'all do for a living? What are your degrees in?
So I'm a nurse.
And I'm a middle school social studies teacher.
Oh, that's so cool.
So what was the most productive money-wise side hustle?
So I had the opportunity to take call. So I would do call like every 2 weeks. That brought us in an extra like 1,000 probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I did a whole bunch of side hustles in the summertime, being off as a teacher, and I did Uber at the Jersey Shore. I taught summer school, and I made the banners that you see flying over the beach on the back of planes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that was a job from high school and from college. And all of those side hustles couldn't come close to her overtime pay, but, did what I could.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yep.
Good job. Yeah. OT when you're nursing is great. That's a big step, giant step.
So Taylor, you were in love with this guy.
Yeah.
And then he looks at you over dinner and says, "Yeah, I'm not borrowing money for that ring."
It didn't say it like that.
I know, but that's exactly how he said it. And I'm not gonna have a car payment. So for everybody out there saying, I love him and I love this plan, the idea of being out of debt's cool, but my ring's gonna look like this, and my husband's gonna drive this. You're 14 months. Y'all been married for how long? About 2 years?
It'll be 2 years in October.
Okay. So you've been married a little over a year and a half, and what would you tell that person on the other side of this? When that ring size matters, and that, especially first right out of the gate, and that cars, all that stuff. Like,
I think don't look outward, look inward. Focus on yourself. You don't know what everyone else's finances look like. If you look outward, it's easy to be wrapped up in I'm not going on vacation there, I'm not doing that. But what does their account look like? What does their credit look like? You don't want to look out. Look in.
That's very good. Very good.
dude, that's so
All
good.
right, you did it. You pay off $134,000 worth of debt, all student loans, in 14 months in your first 18 months of marriage. Very impressive. And Now, when somebody says, how did you do that? What do you tell them the keys to getting out of debt is?
Well, Dave, you ask this question every debt-free scream, and I've probably seen hundreds of them at this point. And so I was going to come in with something so profound, something that's going to leave the audience in awe that no one else has said. And it's the same thing everybody else said.
Okay.
Have a plan and stick to the plan.
Yeah.
And work to make sure that plan comes to reality.
Yeah.
There were times in the summer where, 3 or 4 nights a week, I was away from Taylor, as a newly married couple doing my side hustles, because I stayed at my parents' house, and so it was about an hour away. And that was tough, so we had to stick to the plan and to work to make sure it happened.
Yeah. And just staying on the same page, things come up that you don't expect, don't budget for, and just learning how to pivot. Like, okay, this happened. How do we get back on track to keep everything in line?
Yeah. Doing it together.
Yeah. Communication.
Absolutely.
So important.
Way to go, you guys.
Yeah.
Very proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Who was cheering you on?
Oh, all of our family and friends. It was funny. All of our friends knew that we were doing this, so we would do BYOD. We'd bring our own dinner, and we'd all get together and have our own dinners.
Instead of going out to a restaurant, you know. And our family really helped out as well. Instead of gifts that we might want at Christmas and on birthdays, we'd get practical things, clothes and shoes, so we wouldn't have to spend that extra money, so we could put more and more to the debt. So we had a lot of people cheering us on.
Very cool.
Dude, you guys crushed it, man. I wish you could see us two old guys down the road, 20 years, 40 years of being married. Y'all knocked this thing out so quick, and y'all got to overcome a challenge together, and you don't owe anybody anything this early in your marriage, which means y'all just get to live wide open now.
Yeah.
And it's so wild.
It's mainly from Jim. He was like he was my nerd, and I was definitely his free spirit, so I gave him a run sometimes, but,
Takes both.
We did it.
Takes both.
Yeah. Way to go, y'all. Way to go. Excellent work. Good stuff. All right, it's Jim and Taylor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. $134,000 paid off in 14 months, making $160 to $197. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I love it! Man, that is fun. Very well done. Very well done, you guys. Excellent job. And I tell you, that's like you said, when you can start out your marriage overcoming an obstacle this big as your first order of business in marriage, it sets you up. It gives you like relational confidence to take on everything else that comes.
Yeah, because it's not confident. It's not confidence. It's not Instagram confidence, just jawing. It's no, we did a thing. We did it together, and now we know, we can do hard stuff for a year, 2 years. We can do that.
Yeah, and we can do it together.
Yeah.
And we can suffer together for a greater good, and we can get through this, and we can win, and
gosh, if every married couple could get the blessing of learning after 2 years in that sentence, we can get through this. Whatever this is, we can get through this. We can figure out a way to get through this. Whatever life throws at you, my goodness, what a different world we live in. And they're already there. And nobody is going to tell that marriage what to do. Nobody's going to tell them what to do. No car company. Nobody's going to tell them what to do. They get to decide what comes next for them. I think it's amazing.
It's freedom.
It's freedom.
Freedom.
No married couple has that anymore, Dave. And they do. Right out of the gate.
Pretty cool. That's almost romantic, considering he said no ring until I don't borrow money to buy that.
Oh, no, you can look at them. They're gross. They're super in love. Yeah. It's just romance everywhere over here.
This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. Dr. John Delony, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Tyler in Ohio.
Tyler writes, I just turned 24. I live with my mom, and I recently got out of prison. I have zero debt, but I have no direction in my life. I know being a felon is not holding me back from accomplishing my goals, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I have no investments, no stocks, no nothing. I don't know where to start, and I have zero guidance. I have a high school diploma, so I'm not a dropout. I just want to know what you would tell somebody in my position who is basically starting over. It's a good question, man. I'm going to assume that the felony, that he has served his time, this is done, and he is able to, the felony, particular felony that he has on his record now, he's able to go get a job. And so what I would start doing right now, I think what he needs to do more than anything is go work. And that might mean that he's got to start a lawn business. That might mean he's got to start a business of his own. But I would just get to work. And I think you can sit down and spin, thinking, and you're going to look up and be 25 and be 26 and 27. If he was my friend, that's what I'd tell him. I'd say, you need to go get a job right now, start working. And then we'll start working on the mentoring and finding people in your life. But you're going to find those people as you are out being productive out in the world.
Yes, I completely agree. I'm trying to think. It's not a question that his situation is a bit unique in that he's got a felony, but basically we all start over every morning. And so what do you do when you're starting over? What do you do at the beginning of the year for your New Year's resolution? And so, Tyler, one of the things I've done throughout my entire life is I've studied people who became successful, and also study people who were the opposite, who didn't become successful. And that starts pointing you towards several things, okay? One thing it points you towards is you become who you hang around with. And so start choosing a friend group of ambitious, go-getter, people who are going somewhere with their life type people, and that's who you run with. You don't run with the guy who gets off on Friday and smokes weed all weekend and tries to figure out how to not get back to work on Monday and end up anything but like him. So you become who you hang around with. That's one thing. And so choose your friends really careful. As a matter of fact, one piece of research says that over a course of a decade, you will earn within 15% of the average of your 10 closest friends' income. So what your friends, if you hang around with people making $100,000, you probably have a high tendency to make $100,000. Hang around with people making $500,000, you're going to have a high tendency to run around. If you run around people making minimum wage, you're going to end up making minimum wage. It's just, number one, be careful. Number two, read nonfiction books constantly about subjects that you want to get better at, whether it's success, whether it's marriage, maybe later on marriage and parenting. Read books in the area of the profession that you choose to move towards. Number three, if you aim at nothing, Zig Ziglar used to say, you'll hit it every time. So you need to have goals. You need to say, okay, I'm 24. By the time I'm 30, I want to be doing X, Y, Z. And then what are the steps and the things you need to do to hit that goal? My friend Henry Cloud calls that your desired future. What is your desired future 6 years from today? And then what are the things you have to do to become that? What classes have to be taken? What do we do? All those kinds of things. And a great place to plug into people with integrity, people that are forward-thinking, people that are family-oriented, is in a good church. Now, is everybody in a church good people? No, that's why they need to be in church. But they're not. And sometimes there's some bad people there like there's anywhere else. But it's a great place to get young men and old men in your life that are of quality. and disciple and mentor and develop the spiritual side of your life as well, your values that you base your life on. And if you do those things, you're going to go a long way really, really fast. And the starting point of that is exactly what John said. It's get a job. But then get another job, and then get another job, and then keep moving in the direction what have you got to do? You got to go be an apprentice to do this? Have you got to take a certification class to do this? And then start moving in that direction. But something right now, if you think about being that person when you're 30, when you say that person and you know what that person is, I don't, your pulse rate changes. You get a little bit excited and a smile breaks out on your face. Now go do that one. That's the one you need to go do. And for me, when I was his age, mine was I was going to be a real estate mogul. I wanted to be a big-time real estate guy. I wanted to own shopping centers and office buildings, and I was going to be a commercial real estate guy. And so I started buying real estate at 22 years old. Now, I went broke and lost everything because I did it wrong because I was stupid. But the end of the story is I ended up owning a whole bunch of real estate, now, today. Although it's my second passion, not my primary, but at least it caused me to move in a direction that ultimately led me to this desk. So it's cool stuff, Tyler. It's a good question.
And
shows a lot of maturity.
It does. Sounds like he had some time of reflection when he's behind bars. And this is stemming from a call I took this morning on my show, Dave. There's going to be things that Tyler runs up against, or I'll just tell you, Tyler, direct. There's things you're going to run up against. You're going to really be moving and shaking, and you're going to meet some people, and they're going to be impressed by your work. Let's say you start doing electrical work, and you keep moving and moving, and then your buddy's going to come take you out to lunch and say, I want you to come work for my company. And then you're going to get down the pipeline at the company, and then an HR director is going to flag your application because you have to check a box that says I'm a felon, and it's going to get you dropped out of the process. I don't want you to beat up young Tyler. I don't want you to go back. I want you to dust your sandals off and go on to the next thing and say, all right, we all have a great week, and I appreciate the opportunity to move on with you. The more you let these past decisions haunt you into the future, it's not going to help anything in the future. It's just going to drag on you.
Yeah, what's the saying? You are not the worst thing you have done?
You're not the worst thing you've ever done. And if that's becomes
not your identity.
No. And this will cost you some opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It will. And so let's move
I filed
on.
bankruptcy.
That's right. It costs you some
every
opportunities.
time for the rest of my life that I fill out an application, and I don't fill out loan applications, but there's all kinds of things that come up. Mm-hmm. Have you ever filed bankruptcy?
You still have to click that box.
It doesn't say have you recently. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say was it a decade ago. It said ever. Mm-hmm. And so forever. I'm a bankrupt person. No, I'm not.
I'm a person that did that one time.
I'm a guy that filed bankruptcy a long time ago. There's nothing bankrupt about me.
That's exactly right. And so don't let this become, you're not a felon.
Nope.
You're a guy that committed a felony. You paid your debt to society, and now you're back out there making a contribution. And so it's going to depend on you, though, to not let this thing haunt you forever.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you reset your identity, and you read your way, and you hang your way, who you hang with, and you get up and go to church on Sunday, and you work your tail off Monday through Saturday, and you read and read and read and read and read. Make it a goal to say how many books I've read, not how much Netflix I've binged. And that will change your whole life. Because I've never met a successful person that said they were successful because they knew every show on Netflix.
Nope. And I do think, I used to be really against this, Dave, and I've watched some of my friends who didn't read a lot, especially when they're in college, and with the how ubiquitous audiobooks are now, mm-hmm. There's super no excuse, because some people, it's hard to sit there and read through a book, but man, you can put those headphones in and listen to a book and walk around your neighborhood.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I have a different experience when I read than when I use an audiobook.
Much different.
It activates parts of my brain that the audiobook doesn't activate.
And I always read with a highlighter, and it's kinetic.
It's an actual.
It's different.
It's an actual neuroscience
It is different, but something is better than nothing.
So you need to do some of both.
That's right.
Yeah, don't only do audiobooks.
That's right. But audiobooks are better than no books.
Better than Netflix.
That's
100%. Yeah. Sorry, Netflix. They're not our sponsor, can you tell? This is the Dave Ramsey Show. The Ramsey Show from the Netflix studios. Lisa's with us in Chicago. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
How you doing?
Good. How can we help?
So I'm in the middle of negotiating my salary for a new job, and I'm a little bit don't know how to handle it or how to take it from here. And to give you a little bit of background, I'm in a dead-end IT job, so I decided to go somewhere else, plus get a certification. So my next job, I currently make 73 base. I asked for 83, but they're not willing to pay more than 75.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
how big a
that's where I'm at
company
right
is
now.
this?
It's big.
Big?
Yes, financial. They're in the financial industry.
Okay. All right. Well, you probably got your number. You just need to decide if you want to work there. I doubt that they're going to do a bunch of negotiating. I think they've told you what they're going to do. You might get a little bit out of this, but the way to posture and position yourself so you don't harm yourself into a brand new job, you don't automatically end the honeymoon before it starts, is just switch shoes for a minute. If you were that supervisor that's interviewing you or that company that's interviewing you, why would you give you more money? I want it is not a reason.
Okay.
And I had a magic number in my head that they didn't meet doesn't make them a bad person. I was the worst. I would have a magic number in my head, and it was sometimes it was ludicrous, and then the boss would come in, and I'd feel like they and offer me, hey, here's a job, and here's $5,000 less than your magic number, and I would feel that as a loss. Like they had taken something from me, right? They had it all. They'd offer me a job. And so you just have to decide, do I want to change my life for $2,000 and a big company that if you go in there and bust it and do great work and provide value will increase your salary over time in different roles and professional responsibilities, right?
So the way I would approach it is I would just ask the hiring supervisor that you're talking to or whatever the phrase is that you use, how could I add more value in this position that would make me more valuable, that would make you guys want to pay me more? I don't want you to give me more money just because I think I deserve it because I breathe air. I'm willing to do things that are moral and reasonable, extra. I'm willing to add elements to this that make me more valuable to this company. And then what would be the thing I would need to? Well, you'd need to get this certification. Great. Can we agree that when I get this certification, then it comes with an automatic raise that matches that, and I'll go get the certification. And you can start at the lower position and then go get the certification 6 months later and get your raise, right? Or whatever. But you're asking, you're not asking them to give you something because you're entitled in any way.
No, I'm not. I don't feel that way at all.
I know, and so make sure you're vocalizing it that way. How can I add value that? Because I would really like to make 80, but I don't expect you to pay me that, or 85. I don't expect you to pay me that unless there's a reason. And so I'm asking you, what would I need to do to be worth 85 or 80 or whatever for you guys? Because I'd really like to get there. Help me, because I'm all about personal growth. I'm all about getting better, and I'm all about making sure that I make you more than I cost you.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
And I think, Dave, that wisdom is good because she enters into a conversation that's with, not against, and she might find out, oh man, we pay this is a big company, and so we pay this band of employee X and Y, and you're at the top of that range, but we're going to move you. So you find out actually they're capping the value that they can, but so you find out a lot of stuff when we're on the same side. But when we're across the negotiating table, then it's got to be you versus me, right?
Well, a negotiation properly done of any kind is not put up your dukes.
That's right.
It's not, I'm going to take from you so that I get more.
Right.
It's not a zero-sum game. In other words, if she brought in an extra $1 million in revenue to that organization, would they gladly give her more money?
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, most of them would anyway. Yeah. Some of them are too stupid to do that, but most of them, most companies, small, large, anything. And so it's like we go win together. I tell folks around here, if you leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home, I will share it with you.
Right.
You know, I'm not greedy. I don't, but also not going to pay you. You know, I had one guy go, well, you know, you need to pay me this because I've got all these degrees. And I'm like, he had more degrees than a thermometer. I mean, it was like, and I'm like, dude, your raise is effective when you are.
Right.
You know, this is a small business. So all negotiations are how can we get to where we want to be together. Even if you're buying something from somebody.
How do you keep? Once I sit across the table from somebody, my hackles come up.
Yeah.
How do you keep from turning it into a competition?
Yeah. Well, the problem
You're
is
a competitive guy. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah. If my deal becomes not beating him, my deal become my win is when I get the deal done.
Okay.
Not did I
okay.
destroy him.
Not that I got him to take $5,000 less, but
no.
we
how did I
shook
get
hands.
the deal done?
Because you
and it's
win,
not a
I
back
got
and see if you get into a one-dimensional thing on a negotiation where it's just like price on you're buying a car from somebody and the price is this, and you go, okay, well, I'll give you this. Well, I'll take that. Well, back and you go, it's just back and forth till you meet, and then you go, well, we'll split the difference or whatever, and you go back and forth with this verbal ping pong, balls on your side of the net, balls on my side, and every time we get a little bit closer, finally someone goes, enough, this is it, that you've reached my point,
Right.
You got my number, and you go, okay, I'm in or I'm not, but if you can make it about something else, it's not just the price. Okay, for instance, I'm used to buy a lot of foreclosures or I buy a lot of real estate. And I would tell people in those days, a house has been sitting on the market for a while. We will close it this afternoon for cash. Now that matters.
Yes. You lighten their load a little bit.
This is just, we're done. You got money tonight to go buy a lobster dinner, baby. I mean, this is today. Yeah. You've been screwing around with this house for 6 months. You're behind on your payments tonight. And in return, what do I get? Price.
A good house. Yeah.
I get a house, but I get a good price.
Right.
But the immediacy is a different factor than price.
Right.